Hello, wrestling fans, boxing fans, and everybody out there. It's me, Rye Time. And it's Rye Time. And it's the right time. Today on Rye Time, we're going to talk about boxing, and we're going to do a little wrestling. I'm also curious. I did a video game review, and as I said before, I don't know if it's going to be a normal thing. If you fans think I should, if my subscribers think I should, leave a thought and comment in the comment section, or if you're not into comments, hit the thumbs up. First, let's kick off with a little bit of wrestling. We're going to start off with that. Ring of Honor Wrestling, ROH for short. They've decided that they're going to clean house. They released all of their talent from contracts, and there's no 30-day or 90-day non-compete clause for them, so they can go ahead and compete for whoever they want to as soon as possible. A couple of them have already been booked for shows. A spokesperson for Ring of Honor said that they would, when they come back after the hiatus, they're gonna run Ring of Honor as if it was a promotion, indie promotion, a small-time independent promotion, which means they will book talent for shows, but the talent doesn't have a contract. So it'll be as needed, as booked type of thing. I still don't know how that's going to work. I don't think it's a good idea. If I was them, I would give the big name stars the contracts, like the EC3s, like the Jonathan Grishams, like the Jay Lethals, and those type of guys. I would give them contracts because those are the main event guys. I would give contracts to the main event guys, so I don't lose them to somebody else. And you can bring in whoever you want for whenever. The Briscoe brothers, I would have gave them a contract. EC3 is somebody I would have gave a contract to. Jonathan Grisham. Like I said, Jay Lethal. It's going to be really interesting to find out how Ring of Honor is going to run this thing. Going forward, they said it's going to be more like an independence. But I have no, to me, it's not a good idea to just uncontract all your talent and let them go to wherever. And, but we gonna see. It could be better. So, let's find out. As far as, where I think these talents might end up, EC3 can end up in either Impact Wrestling, Major League Wrestling, or he might surprise everybody and end up in the NWA. There's also a guy named Rip Titus who challenged for the NWA national title when Willie Mack was champ. When Willie Mack was in the NWA and the first national champ. Rip Titus was one of the first challengers for Willie Mack's national title. So, he could end up there. Who knows? I like to see EC3 in the NWA. I love to see him challenge for that NWA title. I like to see Jay Lethal in the NWA and see what he can do. Ladies and gentlemen and subscribers, I started this YouTube channel. I was asked by the NWA. See, I was on my crusade, so to speak. I want the NWA to reinstate and reestablish the Junior Heavyweight Championship. The Junior Heavyweight Championship. And I was asked by somebody by the NWA to explain why I want the belt to return. And I did that a year ago. I did that a year ago, and I'm still on the crusade to get that belt reestablished within the NWA. I think it'll be great for the NWA. I do believe that they're doing great things there. With the women's division, the women's tag division. But it'll be great to see the Junior Heavyweight Championship. It'll be great to see the Junior Heavyweight Division and Championship and the tradition and legacy that it has to continue within the NWA. I would love to see it happen. And there's a whole bunch of people that would love to see it come back. And that's up to the NWA. But we'll see in time. Now, let's move on to some boxing. Snapple, Peach Snapple, my favorite. Now, let's talk some boxing. My guy Kurt DeVille from Counterpunch Boxing. He had covered Anthony Joshua, saying that he would fight Deontay Wilder before he fights Fury. And my man Kurt DeVille said he has to focus, like he's thinking too far ahead, and he needs to deal with what's in front of him before he could talk about going for future opponents. And I completely agree with Kurt DeVille when he says you need to adapt that Floyd Mayweather mindset of, I got this rematch coming up with Alexander Usyk, and that's where my mind is. Don't talk to me about anything else or anybody else. And I'll be back. So anyway, like I said, folks, I completely agree with Kurt DeVille and the idea that he's thinking too far ahead. My own opinion on that is, first of all, he said he'd fight Wilder before he fought Fury, He'll take a Wilder fight in between. But here's the thing. The fight between him and Wilder, at one point in time, it was the talk of boxing. It was on everybody's tongue. It was white hot. It was the talk of boxing. Oh, there was a $5 million offer to Joshua. Joshua turned down. Wilder was supposed to go to the UK, do some broadcasting, and get in the ring. But that wasn't able to happen because there was no contract signed. So Joshua said, for what? Why would he get in the ring to promote or hype a fight that hasn't been done yet? That the pen to paper hasn't been done yet. And the talk has always been Joshua's ducking Wilder. Wilder's ducking Joshua. Everybody's talking about everybody's ducking each other. Sometimes these promoters, they play a role in the fact that fights don't get done. Sometimes these promoters play games, and sometimes that's why fights don't get made. I think Wilder and Joshua would be a great fight, but I don't think that it would have, in my own personal opinion, I don't think it would have the buzz that it once had. Like back when it was the talk of boxing and everybody was talking about it. I think that they let so much time go by with all these games that were being played on both sides. Look, both sides were playing games, all right? Neither one of them are squeaky clean. Neither one of them are innocent. That's my own personal opinion. Both sides had a hand in it. You know, both sides had a hand in it. In why the fight didn't get made. So, I'm not blaming Joshua. I'm not blaming Wilder. I'm just saying the fight didn't get made. The sport of boxing wanted to see this fight a long time ago. And if it happens, great. But I don't think it would have the buzz I don't think it has the buzz that it once had within the sport of boxing. And I'm a fan of Anthony Joshua. I'm a fan of Anthony Joshua. I like the way he carries himself. I like how he says, look, I'll fight anybody. Wilder, Fury, Andy Ruiz. I'll fight whoever. I want to be undisputed champ of the world. I'll fight whoever. He fought Andy Ruiz, lost. Fought Andy Ruiz the second time. Andy Ruiz was not in shape. He wasn't the Andy Ruiz that took the titles from him in Brooklyn, New York. We all know that. Going into Saudi Arabia, he was way too heavy. He didn't have the movements that he would normally have. Andy Ruiz was a chubby guy, but he had fast hands and he could move. He was light on his feet. When he was in Saudi Arabia, that's not what happened. Andy Ruiz admitted to eating everything in sight. My man Bruce Vane said during one of his videos that, and I'm a fan of Bruce Vane, he said Andy Ruiz chose food over legacy. Well, you can't argue with that. I mean, look at the end results. Everybody who's anybody knows that Andy Ruiz wasn't in shape for that fight. Nowhere near it. I love his ambition, him being willing to fight Wilder, him being willing to fight Tyson Fury. Okay, we get the ambition. But this guy, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua knows firsthand. And Anthony Joshua's team knows firsthand. Because Rob McCracken, after that, he did an interview. And all he kept saying was, well, we tried this. Well, we tried that. That means he had no answer for what happened. He had no excuse, no reasoning, no nothing. And that's what led to Anthony Joshua looking for a new trainer. I don't know if he's found one yet, but he's trying to find his fit with the trainers. So I love the ambition of Anthony Joshua and the fact that he's willing to fight everybody. But he's got to get past Alexander Usyk. And Joshua, you know that boy ain't here to play. You learned that the first time. You left that ring beltless without your championships. So you know Alexander Usyk is not there to play. That man is not there to be a stepping stone. He's not there to be a step-on guy. He's not a tomato can. He was there to win the championships and to get his name in boxing history. And he has. First undisputed cruiserweight champion to unify the heavyweight titles other than Evander Holyfield. So Alexander Usyk puts his name in a very elite class. Because, as we all know, Evander comes to get it. When Evander Holyfield was in that ring, that man would fight until his heart stopped. Or until the referee stepped in and stopped it. That man had no reverse button. None. He'd come straight forward and go watch the Riddick Bowe trilogy if you don't understand that. Go watch Foreman Holyfield. You guys will see what I'm talking about. So, Alexander Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world. Anthony Joshua has to bring something new to the table because what he did wasn't working. A new trainer, a new look. But Mr. Joshua, if I were you, I wouldn't overlook Alexander Usyk. Because you know what happened the last time. You lost your belts. Now you're the challenger going in. And there's a chip on your shoulder. Like my man Kurt DeVille said, all that with Wilder and Fury, it sounds good. Sounds good. Great if it happens. But he's got to get past Alexander Usyk first. And it's not going to be an easy night. Joshua knows that. Boxing community knows that. Analysts know that. People know that. Will Anthony Joshua win back the heavyweight championship? Can't say. But I know that he's coming to fight. I know that he's going to have a game plan for Alexander Usyk. I know that he's going to be in better shape than he was the first time. Anthony Joshua has the heart of an old school fighter. He wants the best. He wants to be undisputed champion. He's willing to fight everybody. But Mr. Joshua, one step at a time, bruh. And the one step at a time is you got to correct your mistakes and get your belts back. Do I believe he can do it? Yeah. But do I believe that Alexander Usyk is going to give him hell to hold on to what he worked so hard to get? Yeah. The fans are going to win when these guys get in the ring. I wouldn't worry about Wilder or Fury or anybody else for that matter. I'd worry about the guy that's in front of me, get my belts back, and do what I have to do with Alexander Usyk. And then worry about Wilder, Fury, and whoever else. Boxing fans, this is going to be a great time for boxing. Wrestling fans, it's going to be a great time for wrestling. We're all going to win across the board. Anthony Joshua needs to focus on one thing at a time. And that one thing is getting your belts back. And getting those belts back. And let's say Anthony Joshua does get the belts back. That could set him up for a trilogy with Alexander Usyk. Or he can go for undisputed. Or he can have the fight with Wilder. All those doors can open for Anthony Joshua. But the only thing, the thing that Joshua has to do, and he has to do this before he could do anything else, and that's get back the world's titles that he lost. That's the first piece of the puzzle, is winning back those championships. Then all those doors can open. Undisputed with Fury. A fight with Wilder. A trilogy with Alexander Usyk. All these things can happen for Joshua, but he's got to get those belts back. That's where his mindset should be. Getting back my championships, and then I'll worry about everything else. Look, I like Anthony Joshua, but if one thing that he should have learned is to never overlook an opponent, regardless of who it is. Because you guys heard the stories about Andy Ruiz. Oh, Andy Ruiz is just this fat, chubby kid, and Anthony Joshua is going to steamroll him. It's an easy night, and he's going to walk into Undisputed and with Wilder, and that's that. But then Andy takes the world's titles from Joshua. And then when he got the belts back, Alexander Usyk, he's a cruiserweight coming up. Joshua's got too much power. Joshua has this, Joshua has that. Again, he comes up short. So, Anthony Joshua needs to focus on getting his championships back, getting a new team, getting a new look, and just getting his belts back. Once he gets the belts back, all them doors will open. A matchup with Fury, Wilder, a trilogy with Usyk, if he wants. But all those doors will open once he gets the titles back. But he has to get the titles back first. Kudos to both fighters. They both bought it. And a little bit of wrestling news. The Iconics, formerly the Iconics, now the Inspiration, they're the Knockout Tag Team Champions in Impact Wrestling. Jordan Grace is the digital media champ. It's an intergender belt, which I said before, I don't think it's the best thing to do, but hey. That was my opinion and view on Anthony Joshua with a little bit of wrestling news. Joshua has to get the world titles back before he can do anything else. He's got to get past Alexander Usyk. That's the long and the short of it. I love the sport of wrestling and boxing. Been a fan all my life. It's great to have an old school fighter like Anthony Joshua, but one step at a time. Wrestling and boxing forever. It's right time. I'm out.